You've probably heard people say, "Oh, that car's a lemon," meaning it's a piece of crap. It's something that's sour and leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Well, today we're looking at a lemon, but not that type of lemon. Today we're taking a close look at the JUN Hyper Lemon. JUN, or JUN Auto, is a Japanese tuning shop regarded as one of the country's leading tuners. Originally focused on improving engines, it also builds high-performance cars. One such car is this JUN-built Hyper Lemon 350ZR. Rumour has it that this Z33 was built for a Hong Kong buyer who wanted to use it as a time attack car. But it then disappeared off the motorsport radar until it recently resurfaced at RevSpeed in Melbourne, Australia. So Duncan, tell us a bit about the history of the car. Of course, it was at Tsukuba, then it was in Hong Kong, and then it kind of disappeared. So how did you find it and what happened there?
Well, this car actually, after the JUN Auto, they test drive in Tsukuba and they shipped the car to Hong Kong. And at the end, after the test and interview, magazines, everything in Hong Kong, a friend of mine, he bought it off. So he decided to buy this car is because he planned to do the Macau World Sport Challenge with this car. But unfortunately, that year was raining, so he just pretty much took the car out for like a couple laps. Then for some reason, I remember he told me it's about wet flat, then stop the race. Then that's how he housed his Macau one-piece race.
Okay.
Yeah, and
so he went to because they have that awesome street circuit at Macau.
Yeah.
He went there. It rained. He got red flagged.
Yep. And then
and then nothing.
Yeah, and I think still did few laps.
Yeah.
And then but didn't do much. After the Macau race, he left the car actually at Zhuhai International Circuit. Then at the end, after doing nothing, years later, he decided to ship the car to a new home of Super Lab, which is Australia.
So he's decided to ship the car over here?
Yep.
Yep. And offered it to you for sale?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And now you're the owner. The standard 3.5 litre engine has been treated with a full JUN upgrade, which includes a 3.8 litre stroker kit, I-beam connecting rods, crankshaft, JUN camshafts and Cosworth pistons. This is a serious bit of gear. The first thing you notice when you open the hood is this one-off custom-made plenum that was made by JUN. And just behind that are these twin TDH-05 turbos, leading back to the heat wrap manifold, and if you look down in here, the signature green and yellow paint that was made famous by JUN. Of course, modern time attack is all about air management, which is the flow of the air in and around the car. Now that includes aero such as the downforce and drag that we're all familiar with, but one area that people tend to forget about a bit is the air management through the car itself, especially with cooling. Now this car has very interesting intercooler setup, where there's two intercoolers either side, and we can see that the air goes straight into those here. We can also see it goes into the front air dam here, up over the radiator, cools the engine, and then back out the vented bonnet. Possibly the greatest piece of engineering involved with this car is the all-wheel drive conversion. The system uses a complete R32 Skyline drivetrain connected to an M35 Stager front differential case, and gears are selected via a Hollinger 6-speed sequential GTR transmission, which was very advanced at the time the car was built. However, to comply with open class rules, the car must run in two-wheel drive configuration, so the front axles have been removed. So this car was built about 13 or 14 years ago, and of course electronics have changed a lot since then. I've noticed you're just pulling most of them out now.
Yes, yeah. So that's why we just putting the Haltech in, and we use the Haltech just one unit to control everything.
Yes, because being the Japanese style of building at that time, I suppose it would have had a separate boost controller, separate ECU, separate data logger, all these different parts, and you're just using one unit now.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, very good. Well, I've managed to find Ray, who's the master tuner here at RevSpeed. I've pulled your head out of the laptop for a second. You tune quite a few time attack cars, don't you?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, and you'll obviously be tuning this one.
Yes. Yes.
This is as JDM as it gets. What sort of differences do you see between the JDM builds and the Aussie builds?
Ooh, JDM builds, sometimes they go a bit over the top. A lot of unnecessary stuff. But maybe back 10 years ago, maybe that's all we sort of had. But now with the modern ECUs and stuff, they can control a lot of cam timings and all that. Whereas JDM probably didn't have any of that.
Yeah, the cam timing, the boost control, the low,
Yeah.
it can all be done from one box.
That's
now.
right, yeah. So I think that's probably the biggest difference. So a lot of the stuff will be gutted in the wiring side of it. And then one Elite 2500 should be able to control every sensor there is.
So when you're tuning for time attack specifically, obviously it's very different for doing something like a drag car.
Yep.
What sort of stuff do you particularly look at?
It's a bit hard because I think it's a lot of test and tune, a lot of logging, and I mean you can't have all the power in the world. For instance, like a drag car, you want all usable power. So coming out of corners, so a lot of logging.
A lot of data, looking at the data,
right, yeah.
Getting it back out there again.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest key, really. I mean, if you really want to be successful and be, up top, that's what you have to do, pretty much. Yeah.
Inside the car here, everything's where it needs to be. The race pack dash is right there in front of the eyes of the driver. The shifter for the Hollinger sequential's just here within hand's reach. All of the toggles for the switches and stuff. This roll cage for a Japanese car is actually quite robust. Unfortunately, that doesn't leave a lot of room for a robust Aussie guy like me. Fortunately, the man who's going to be driving it is a lot smaller. You're a bit of a race car driver yourself. You've been doing some endurance stuff over in Japan, but you're not going to drive the car for time attack. Who's going to be in the car?
Well, I think I will put the iconic Super Lab driver, Tarzan Yamada, to drive this car again.
Okay. Of course, he drove the drove your Evo a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
And so how did that relationship come about? How do you know Tarzan?
Well, actually, basically, CEO of Time Attack, Ian, he hooked up Tarzan Yamada and me together.
Okay. Originally to drive the Evo,
Yes.
and then that relationship's continued on through this car.
Yes, correct.
So I understand you're sort of halfway through the conversion and you haven't had a chance to put it on the dyno yet, but what sort of power are you hoping for?
Well, we're hoping we should be able to make about 800 or over with E85.
Okay, because back in the day it would have been on 98 pump fuel,
Yes,
and
correct.
in those old videos it was making quite a lot of power then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much does it weigh?
The car actually currently weighs over 1,300 kilos.
Okay, so it's heavy for a time attack car.
Yes, correct.
But that's good power.
Yeah, power to weight ratio is very important in
Yeah.
the time attack car. So we believe when we finish the tunings, we will go for the weight.
To be legal for World Time Attack open class rules, this car has to run factory glass front and rear. Now, this back bit of glass is quite big, and that makes this rear hatch very heavy, even for someone with massive biceps like me. To counter that, this whole hatch has been made out of fiberglass, and then it's had all of these speed holes cut into it. The Advan RG2 wheels in 18 inches are now a classic design. And while they are currently wearing racing slicks, come World Time Attack they'll be shod with a set of brand new Yokohama AO50s, being the control tyre for the event. Well, there you go, the JUN Hyper Lemon 350Z. It's certainly not like any of the lemons I've owned in my life, and it's going to be at World Time Attack 2018. My name's Richard for Haltech, and I'll see you there.